Sometimes I think reading is the last refuge we have, a place where imagination, silence, and attention still belong to us and not to the algorithms trying to take them away. When I open a book, I feel like I've stepped out of the noise, out of the constant scrolling, the endless updates, and all the voices screaming and shouting for my attention. Books don't shout at me. Books don't try to manipulate me. They wait for me. And page by page, they remind me that my thoughts still belong to me. And that's why I don't think reading is optional anymore, because we live in a world that has been designed to capture and resell our attention. And in that kind of world, sitting down and reading a book is a kind of intellectual survival. And survival begins with resistance, because every time you pick up a book, you're pushing back against the distraction. You're pushing back against the passive consumption. You're choosing thought over reaction. You're choosing depth over noise. And that's why the first reason to read is simple. Reading is resistance. Reading pushes back against doom scrolling. It pushes back against the kind of broadcast society that we're finding ourselves in. Choosing books means that we choose thought over algorithmic noise. Books ask us to engage, whereas social media asks us to react. But resistance isn't enough on its own. Books don't just block out noise, they sharpen how we think. And unlike headlines or feeds that we scroll through, books don't tell us what to believe. Books lay out an argument, a perspective, and they ask us to weigh it for ourselves. And that's the second reason we need to read. Reading teaches us how to think, not just what to think. Books require evaluation and analysis. It takes time to read a book and to sit down and really think about what we've just read. And this encourages us to have a kind of active judgment rather than just passive agreement. Reading really builds a kind of intellectual independence. And once we learn to think for ourselves, books take it one step further. They teach us how to feel for others. Reading places us inside the lives of other people, people completely unlike ourselves. This breaks down stereotypes, it expands compassion, and it reminds us that the world is so much bigger than our narrow little slice of it. And that brings us to the third reason. Reading creates empathy. Reading allows you to live inside the lives of people completely and utterly different from ourselves. And this expands our experiences exponentially, more than we can ever imagine. We build compassion towards people we'll never meet, towards people that may not even exist anymore. Empathy really matters, but so does escape. Only not the kind of escape that leaves you numb. When you lose yourself in a book, your imagination is awake and your mind is sharp. It's escape that enriches you instead of dulling you. And that's why the fourth reason is reading is the smart escape. When we read, we can escape without numbing out. We have stimulation instead of sedation. Our mind is active, our imagination is working, and we become sharp during the escape. This leaves us enriched, and we come back to reality better than we left it. And finally, books give us something almost impossible anywhere else: the chance to live more than one life. Every character we read about, we carry with us. Every world we explore in a book, we carry with us. And this expands our own existence. We realize our life is just one among many. And that perspective changes everything. Which leads us to the fifth reason. Reading allows you to live more than once. We carry the lives of characters inside of us. Our experience multiplies. And this gives us a perspective that our life really is just one among many. We all come to books for different reasons: escape, empathy, insight, resistance. I've shared my reasons, but what's your number one reason for reading? Drop it in the comments below. I would love to hear it.